Hello, everybody, and welcome to our first ever TNA One Night Only Knockdown event. It is all about the knockouts here tonight, as every single competitor, every single person in attendance for representing TNA here tonight is part of the knockouts here in TNA. Of course, we have all-female commentators, road agents, referees, all that stuff. It turns out we actually had more than one person who could referee and more than one person who could road agent, which is a good thing because we have an almost 2-hour show, and it would not have worked if we had just the one of each. Nevertheless, we've run down the show previously, but of course, we will kind of touch base with it again once we get to that point in time. But we are going to dive into the action with a pre-show match happening before the event, before the actual pay-per-view starts, featuring our World Cup preview matchup. 5 women, each representing one of the teams of the World Cup, with Io Shirai picking up the victory in this 5-way match in 6 minutes when Shirai pins Toni Storm with a moonsault press. 26 rating for the match. 35 from Io Shirai, 25 from Casey Spinelli, Kaylee Ray, Allison Kay, and 24 from Toni Storm. Veda Scott doing a bit of road agent work occasionally throughout the night as times as well, just because, again, had ended up pushing people a little bit too much with it. So there's that, but it's going to be all right. We will do our best with what we have. 26 rating for this matchup. And we move on to the opening of the show itself, which, by the way, we have an ungodly amount of people in attendance tonight. The game was trying to tell me that I could have 30,000 some people in attendance. I was like, yeah, we're not doing that. So we only have 18,300 people. We sold out this SAP Center at San Jose just because I figured it would be better to do that way. Less people to piss off and all that stuff. Not that it's going to be a bad show, but it's not going to be a highly rated show. But nevertheless, we open up Knockouts Knockdown with Allison Danger welcoming everybody to the show tonight. Io Shirai was also our fill-in road agent because she actually had at least decent respect, but not great skills everywhere else. So some of the matches might suffer. But Allison Danger, who I did go and check, and she had a weird glitch on hers over that gave her like no experience. I did fix that. I didn't give her an ungodly amount of experience, but I gave her a fair amount. So hopefully she will do well as a road agent, and she will be being the road agent for the big matches happening tonight. So won't have to worry about that with that there. But anyway, Allison Danger welcoming everybody to the show tonight, kind of running down the card. There's going to be a 10 knockouts battle royal happening tonight. We are going to have April Mendez taking on Rosemary one-on-one. We're going to have the knockout tag team number 1 contender match with the 2 other teams who are in the semifinals, Cheerleader Melissa and Madison Eagles and the Lucha Sisters. Of course, we're going to have Angelina Love and Mickie James, where if Mickie James wins, then she gets her championship rematch. But it was announced during this segment by Allison Danger that she took what Angelina Love had been saying recently under consideration, and that it is officially a number 1 contendership match here tonight featuring Angelina Love versus Mickie James. So if Angelina Love wins, not only does Mickie James not get her rematch, but it does mean that Angelina Love will get a shot at the Knockouts Championship. So, Allison Danger decided to be fair about that and go from there. And then, of course, we have the finals of the Knockouts Tag Team Title Tournament happening tonight. Team Kick taking on the Beautiful People. And, of course, our big main event, Gail Kim defending the Knockouts Championship against Madison Rayne. Should be a interesting show, to say the least. We open up with a unadvertised match featuring Mischief defeating Taryn Terrell in 754 by pinfall with the Desecrator. 42 from Mischief, 34 from Taryn Terrell. Not a great rating for it. Io Shirai was road agent for it, didn't do great. Terrence Terrell, we need to change her gimmick because her gimmick was getting stale. So we're just changing it to a fun babyface. But yeah, Mischief getting a victory here on pay-per-view in front of 18,300 people over Terrence Terrell. And not a great way to start off the show, but it's decent enough. We'll take it at this point. After that, we move into the Battle Royal happening. And in a 39 rated matchup in this Battle Royal, Brittany gets the victory in 9.5 minutes. Nicole Matthews, one of the representatives from the World Cup, was in the Final Four, as was Athena, who was also another representative of the World Cup, and Kimberly, which is surprising because Kimberly is usually one of the lower rated knockouts in our company. But Nicole Matthews was the last to be eliminated. Brittany getting the victory and securing herself a big win here on the Knockouts Knockdown event. This wasn't like a contenders, getting yourself in contention for a title or anything like that, but it's a nice way to get the knockouts featured and get a big win for somebody like Brittany. So we'll have to see what that leads to her in the future. Athena had the most eliminations over the course of the match too, so there's that as well. After that, we have a Ingle. We've got SoCal Val, who in TNA is managing D'Angelo Dinero, but we're using her because we want to kind of get as many knockouts involved in the show as possible. We're using her to be a interviewer for this moment here, as she interviews cheerleader Melissa and Madison Eagles before their matchup. She asks Madison about Jessie McKay, and Eagles tells her that Jessie McKay won't be an issue, that these two will go on to beat the Lucha Sisters and then challenge whoever wins the Knockouts Tag Team Championships later in the night and become the new Tag Team Champions for sure. 35 rating for this segment. The match itself gets a 41. 41 rating. Crowd seemed to be bored with yet another special guest referee involved. Well, you know what? The crowds can get bored with a lot of the show then, because we don't have any official referees. Even Melissa Coates would refuse to be a referee role, and I didn't want to cheat and go into the thing and force her to be a referee role. So there's going to be special guest referees throughout the entire show tonight. It's just going to be how it is. But in a poor matchup, Cheryl Melissa and Madison Eagles defeat the Lucha Sisters in 11:07 when Madison Eagles pinned Leva Bates with a Hellbound after Jessie McKay did come out and she went to go swing at Madison Eagles, but Eagles ducked and Leva Bates gets hit by accident. So it leads to Cheerleader Melissa and Madison Eagles picking up the victory here tonight. 41 rating. Not terrible, but it is what it is. After that, we have our matchup, April Mendez, Rosemary. And in 11:17, surprisingly by submission, because of the Widow's Bite, April Mendez able to get the victory over Rosemary. 55 from Mendez, 52 from Rosemary. Jay Lethal did go work ringside. Kind of forgot about that. But you know what? That's all right. He wasn't actually, wasn't getting involved in the in-ring action. He was just at ringside, I guess. 53 rating for the match, though. Not too shabby there. As April Mendez continues on her way up the Knockouts division. Having a tough challenge here with Rosemary. A lot of back and forth action between the two. Really great back and forth matchup. Couple near falls and all that. But at the end of the day, April Mendez able to get the victory and keep moving herself up the ladder. After that, Mickie James has a quick interview with Christy Hemme. Christy Hemme doing some interview duties as well tonight. Well, just the one, but she is interviewed before her matchup with Angelina Love tonight. Says that she doesn't care if this is officially a number one contenders match because the Queen of the Knockouts will win here tonight and will go on to reclaim her Knockouts championship. So some strong words there. 60 rating for this angle. The match itself gets a 50 rating. Match deserved better announcing. Magnus got involved in the finish. How dare he? Okay. I didn't know if it was gonna really hurt it. Ugh, the main event might get kind of hurt because of that too. Actually, now that I think about it. Oh well. Anyway, decent matchup. Mickie James defeats Angelina Love in 11:35 by pinfall to Mickie DT after Magnus interfered. They just said that that Mickie James had to win her match. They didn't specify that there can be any outside interference with her match. So unfortunately, Magnus interfered. Well, he basically just caused a distraction. He didn't actually hit Angelina Love, but he caused a distraction enough for Mickie to get the victory. And so Mickie James can now go on to Final Resolution to challenge for the TNA Knockouts Championship. And of course, that's going to be interesting because as of right now, Gail Kim, the person who took it off of her, has the championship. But, she could end up having to go up against Madison Rayne, too. We'll have to see how that plays out. But Angelina Love, unfortunately, lost this matchup, although, she has a reasoning behind it. Magnus got involved when he probably shouldn't have, so might lead to something for her in the future, might keep her in the title picture, because she lost this number one contenders match kind of unfairly, so we'll have to see how that plays out. After that, backstage, we have an interesting little segment, just kind of not really starting any storyline because I feel like I've kind of already beat it senseless at this point, but just kind of an interesting little segment where we get Angelina Love walking backstage showing some disappointment. When the beautiful people show up, Velvet Sky and Brooke Tessmacher, of course, they have their Knockouts Tag Team title match coming up next. They kind of mock her for losing, saying that once again, she's proven that she's nothing without the beautiful people. And Love looks like she's getting ready to kind of get a little physical with Sky and Tessmacher, but of course, Sky and Tessmacher have, the numbers at game. That is until the number one contender for the Knockouts Championship, Madison Rayne, shows up. And of course, all four women, either current or former not members of the beautiful people, all kind of looking around at each other a little bit, but Madison Rayne kind of stands next to Angelina Love as to say, as if to say, well, you want to kind of take a, you want to kind of claim some stuff over, I dare you to do something about it when the numbers are evened out kind of thing. But Velvet Sky and Brooke Tessmacher kind of put their hands up and walk away, kind of not wanting to get involved in anything before their matchup, that kind of thing. So just a little bit of a teaser. Probably never going to lead to anything. Maybe a tag match sometime in the near future, but probably never going to lead to anything, especially like any sort of story, because I feel like I've kind of beat the beautiful people breakup thing senseless at this point, seeing as how that was basically a story that was running for at least 6 months in the game, technically a little bit longer. So I feel like I'm not going to get back right back on that horse, so to speak. But yeah, just a little bit of a teaser on this event here. After that, we get our entrances for the Knockouts Tag Team title matchup. 40 rating for that is what it is, to be expected. Team Kick taking on the beautiful people for the Knockouts Tag Team Championships. And a 45 rated match. Thanks to Evie hitting the talk to you later, Team Kick are your new TNA Knockouts Tag Team Champions. In a huge, huge upset. Nobody expected Evie and Nixie Noel to be able to pick up the victory, but they do. They defeat Brooke Tessmacher and Velvet Sky, and Evie and Nixie Noel, after only being here in TNA for a short amount of time, really kind of coming to their own in the Knockouts Tag Team title tournament, wins the tournament, and are your new Knockouts Tag Team Champions. Gotta imagine the beautiful people are not going to be fans of that, or not going to be a fan of that, but they're not the number one contenders for the titles at this point anyway, because now that means that sometime in the near future, it's not necessarily announced when that match is going to happen, but it does get kind of talked about here upon the ending of the match, or after the end of the match, that of course means that Team Kick will be defending the tag team titles in their first defense against Cheerleader Melissa and Madison Eagles in the near future. So we have that match to look forward to in the near future. Of course, that was the semifinal matchup that got, there was a little bit of justification as to having a rematch because, of course, Jessie McKay got involved in that matchup and cost Melissa and Madison the matchup. So second time that these teams go at it, maybe they will, Jessie McKay will be barred from ringside or something like that. We'll have to see. But Time to celebrate as Team Kick are your new TNA Knockouts Tag Team Champions, which they then celebrate after the match with a huge victory. Crowd's going crazy, loving the fact that they are the new champions, cheering for them as this relatively unknown duo have become the Knockouts Tag Team Champions. After that, we then get the entrances for the main event of the evening. Madison Rayne coming out, Gail Kim coming out as the champion. We get our announcements from our ring announcer, Christy Hemme. Madison Rayne, Gail Kim, TNA Knockouts Championship on the line. 58 rated matchup. I'll take it, especially since Madison Rayne apparently has a gimmick that's getting stale because I forgot to change it before the pay-per-view. And also the special guest referee thing and the announcing thing, but I will still take that 58. As in a decent matchup, Gail Kim defeats Madison Rayne in 14:45 by pinfall with an EAT defeat. Mega defense number 1 of the Knockouts title. 61 from Rayne, 66 from Gail Kim. Would have been a really good rating for this matchup had those other things not been involved, but that's all right. As you see there, though, during the matchup, referee was down. Gail Kim was kind of down at that point. Madison Rayne looked like she was in control, waiting for Gail Kim to get to her feet when surprisingly, well, not too surprisingly, but in a not so surprising turn of events, ODB ran in and attacked Madison Rayne to cost her the Knockouts Championship. So clearly ODB is not done with her issues with Madison Rayne, not done with whatever issues she has with her recently. And because of that, Gail Kim retains the Knockouts Championship. Now, of course, Gail Kim didn't know that ODB got involved, but she came to and saw that Madison Rayne was out and kind of didn't know what happened there, so she decided to take advantage of it and get the victory. Afterwards, Gail Kim celebrates, and there's a show of respect for Madison Rayne, who looks disappointed, especially with what ODB did, but she still acknowledges and respects Gail Kim for it. Gotta imagine these two will have a rematch in the future. Madison Rayne still trying to go for her record-setting 6th Knockouts Championship, but unfortunately on this night, it was not to be, as Gail Kim retains the Knockouts Championship. This ends the show, which gets a 55 rating. That's all right. We lost popularity, but it's whatever. It's kind of to be expected. I'm not too worried about it, especially because we'll make that popularity up pretty quickly. But honestly, a 55 rating for this show is not too bad. Heading into this, I was kind of expecting more of a 50. Definitely the main event definitely saved the hell out of it for us. Definitely helped to raise everything up. But you know what? Still, I will take it. I will take it for sure. I will know the next time I go to do this, which probably will be in a year's time. I don't know if it's going to be for sure an annual thing, but it'll probably be roughly in a year's time over. But I'll know that next time I go to do this, I'll make sure I have a couple of females who have decent enough skills on the roster to do the road agent stuff and all that. Because I was hoping that Io Shirai's stats and I knew Veda Scott's wasn't going to be, but I was hoping Io Shirai's stats were going to be at least enough that it wasn't going to at least penalize our road agent stuff. But apparently it didn't. So, but you learn some from everything. 55 rating. I'll take it. Gail Kim retaining the Knockouts Championship, and we have a new Knockouts Tag Team Champions in Team Kick. Thank you for watching. Definitely appreciate the support for the series. Next time you see the episode for the series, it will be another episode of Impact on the Road to Final Resolution, and we will catch you guys all then.